Hello everybody, welcome to our 2022 summer reading program, Oceans of Possibilities. You guys are watching our take and make videos for all of our take and make kits. This video is specifically for the painting class. We're going to be doing an amazing ocean scene painting with some crabs and some seaweed and some fun bubbles today. If you haven't picked up a kit, don't worry. I'm going to go over the supplies you need. You can actually get this canvas, an 8x11 canvas at the Dollar Tree for $1, and you just need paintbrushes and paints at home. So this is something anyone can do. So if you didn't get the kit, you can still follow along and you can still participate. You can even use a piece of paper if you don't have a canvas. You can use a white piece of paper. So let's go ahead and get started with what we're going to need today to do our ocean crab painting. Okay, so here's the things that you're going to need today for your painting. Like I said earlier, we need to get a piece of paper or a canvas. This is an 8x11 canvas. You see it's a little thicker here. And this runs about $1.25 at the Dollar Tree. Or if you don't have a canvas or you can't get a paint canvas, a piece of paper will work just fine, a white piece of paper. You're also going to need some paints. Now remember, if you have your three primary colors and then black and white, you can make and create almost any color of paint that you wish by mixing those together. So I have some paints we're gonna need here today. I also grabbed a few different paint brushes, different sizes. If you just have one paintbrush, that will do just fine as well too. I grabbed some paper towel because we're going to need to, once we wet our paintbrushes and switch colors, we're going to need to dry them off on our paper towel. And then we have a glass of water here to dip our paintbrushes in to clean off in between colors. So we're gonna go ahead and just jump right in it and get started with our painting. So I'm gonna use my wider brush right here because first things first, we need to make our ocean blue for our crabs. So I'm gonna dip my paintbrush a little bit, get it wet, kind of dab it off on the side here. I'm going to use this color blue right here. I'm going to do a darker blue. And I'm going to start off at the bottom and I'm just going to make some lines with my paint. We're just covering this up. It doesn't need to look pretty by any means right now because we're going to go back over and use some white to put some kind of dimension in our water and make it look really cool. I also have this teal color here that I'm going to add in it as well to kind of mix it together, make that really pretty ocean color. As you can see, kind of blends really nicely together. If you don't know how to make teal, you take blue and add a little bit of green to it and some white, and there you have it. You'll make your teal right there. So let's go ahead and just paint this all blue. And I want to say this in the beginning, and I'll probably say it again throughout. Your painting is going to look completely different from mine, and that is okay. Everyone paints differently, is creative in their own special way. So don't worry if yours doesn't look exactly like Miss Melissa's does. That is okay. Add some more of that teal in there. Some teal in there. We're just blending colors right now, friends. Blending colors away. And I wouldn't worry about getting this bottom part too blue right now because we're actually that's going to be where our sand is. So we're going to leave that white. If you already painted it blue, no worries at all. I actually might flip this around like this and leave this white part right here for my sand. You can do that with yours as well. Make sure you're wearing clothes you don't mind getting a little dirty in case some paint splatters. All right. Look at, I'm already making a mess, and that's okay. It's fun to make messes, right? Add a little bit more teal up here. Now, eventually I'm going to go in with some white because as you get closer to the surface of the ocean, it's closer to a light source. What light source would that be? The sun, right? So it's a little bit lighter up at the top and then darker as we get down to the bottom. So we're going to make sure that we make it as realistic as the ocean as possible, because where do crabs like to hang out? They like to hang out at the bottom of the ocean, right? In the sand. So we're gonna make sure that we add those little guys there too. Now, if you don't want to add teal to yours, here's what you can do. So you can add some white. So I'm going to take some white paint here. That's okay, we don't need to clean off our brush because we're just kind of blending it in to make it a little bit of a softer blue color. I'm going to add more of the white to the top here too, because like I said, the sun's shining at the top. And so it's a little bit lighter towards the top of our water here than it is at the bottom. So we're just adding a little bit of white in. Some more white. And just blending it around. See, now it's starting to look more like the water, right? Just blend, 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 swipe, swipe, swipe with your paintbrush. There's no right or wrong way to do this, friends. No right or wrong way. I'm gonna add a little bit, marks of teal in there. A little bit more blue at the bottom here. And then again, I'm gonna grab some more of that white. And I'm gonna draw some lines like the sun reflecting on the water here. If you're still working on making your blue background and you haven't gotten to adding the white yet, you can totally pause this video at any time and take it at your own pace. I might be a little bit quicker at this than some of you, or some of you might be quicker at this than I am. So take it at your own pace. All right. There we go. All right. So here we have our ocean. We have a little bit of white at the bottom that I left because we're going to be coloring that with our brown. Now I am gonna get my brush, dip it in the water here, and then I'm going to put it on the paper towel because I want to grab some more of that white paint here, and I'm gonna make a couple lines really close to the top, just like this. We want those to show up a little bit more at the top there. So just use your paintbrush very lightly. Add in some reflection from the sun. Just like that. So as you can see, I added a little bit of white to the top from the reflections from the ocean, and I think I want to add a little bit more teal in there too. I want to add some teal color. So I'm going to kind of go under some of the white spots there to add the teal. There we go. And you can just kind of play around with this and see what works best for you. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make our sand at the bottom of our ocean here. We're gonna kind of make a little hill. So what I did, and to make brown, if you don't have brown, what you're gonna do is you're gonna add a bunch of colors together. So add red and green together will make a brown. I do have brown paint here, and I have a little bit of white, and I'm gonna mix the two of them together because I want it to look more of like a sandy color brown. But you just gotta kind of play around with it. The fun thing with paints is that you can create all sorts of different colors by just mixing colors together. So I am mixing my brown with some white here to make it a really light tan color, like a sand color. Now, if you want your sand to be darker brown, you can totally do that. If you want your sand to be purple, you can do that too. You can totally make it as creative and as you would like. So I'm gonna mix those together there, and I have my little sandy brown color. Now I'm gonna start over at this edge here, and I'm going to go up and kind of do a swipe up like a little hill. Just like that. Swipe up. And then I'm gonna go to my other side, and I'm gonna do another. We're almost making like an M. Two little hills with a point there, just like that. Now, I might need to wipe off my paintbrush a little bit because I'm getting a little bit of the blue on there. Mix more of my paint together here because I'm gonna need a lot more to, oh, and look what I did. I dripped a little bit of my paint onto the canvas where I didn't want to do that. That is okay. This is where I'm gonna take my a little bit of paper towel here and kind of dab it away. Just as simple as that. No worries at all. So I'm just gonna take my brown, I'm gonna go in and just add that. I'm gonna add a little bit of a darker color too. Add that sand at the bottom of the ocean there. Sometimes it's fun to add some colors and blend them. Just like that. And if you want to add something else to your sand, you can totally do that too. Like I said, your painting is going to be completely different than Miss Melissa's painting, and that is completely fine. They're all going to look different in their own unique way. Okay, so now I'm going to take a little bit of some darker brown color, and I'm going to add some lines at the bottom here like this. A couple lines there. Some right here, kind of make a shadowy part of this hill. some at the top of our sand here. And then I'm going to add a little bit of white in there too. Just like that. All right, at this point, once you feel pretty good about your sand and your ocean background, we're going to let it dry so that we can paint our crabs and our seaweed, and all those colors aren't going to blend and mix together. So let's let it dry. If you have a hair dryer, you can dry it really quickly that way. Just make sure mom or dad help you with that. And then we will come back to do our crabs. Okay, so I waited for this to dry a little bit because now we're gonna add some seaweed and then we're gonna get started on our crabs here. So I wanted to make sure the blue part was dry enough so that we could do that. So we're gonna go in with some green, and I'm gonna take a little bit of the white too because this green's a little bit darker than what I'd like. I'd like to do a lighter color green. So how we do that is we take a little bit of green, a little bit of our white, mix it together, and look, it makes a lighter color green. And you can do that with any of your paints if you want a lighter color. Red, which actually turns into pink if you put enough white in it. So I'm gonna make kind of a seaweed green. You know what, I might add a little bit of dab of yellow to it too to brighten it up a little bit. You don't have to do that, but I'm going to add a little bit of yellow to it. Liking the way that color looks right there. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take our green. We're gonna start at the bottom of our sand right here. And we're gonna draw the stem of the seaweed here. And I'm gonna kind of go up to the side, just like that. And then I'm gonna start from the middle part right here and go all the way up towards the top and kind of make a swooping. It kind of looks like a tree, right? So we're just kind of making branches on a tree almost. And then I'm going to come down, do that right there. Now I want to make another one kind of coming off this way. So I'm going to get some more paint here, and I'm going to start it off from right here and have it come up, because it's kind of floating in the ocean. And just make really soft little movements. Maybe a little one coming off here. Maybe another one branching off this way. One branching off here. One branching off here. Almost like you're making a tree. Just like that. And I'm gonna go in, actually before I do that, I'm gonna do some seaweed on this side too, because we want it to look pretty even on both sides. So I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna make this one a little bit shorter though. So I'm gonna have this one kind of tucked behind the ground here. So we're gonna start off at this edge right here at the top of the sand. We'll start off and we'll go out this way, sweep out this way. Kind of make a U shape like that. And we'll get one kind of branching off in the middle here. One like that. I'm gonna do little ones. And I'm actually gonna grab a different brush, a smaller brush, to do some small little tiny branches that branch off of my seaweed here. Crabs love seaweed. They love to hide in the seaweed. All right, I kind of like the way this looks here too. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow, some yellow highlights to my seaweed. So I'm gonna grab a little bit of yellow with my smaller paintbrush here. And I'm just gonna add, let's do a little bit there, a little bit there, there, and kind of blend it in. You don't have to do this. I'll add a little bit there. Maybe a little bit here and there. Just to add some extra color to my seaweed. And if you don't like what you did with the yellow, you can go back over it with the green like I just did there. Just like that. Okay, now we're gonna get ready to start our crab. So I'm gonna get my paintbrushes all cleaned up here because we're completely switching up our colors now. And we're gonna have two little crab friends that are going to be in our painting here. And did you guys know that there is over 4,500 species of crabs? That is pretty incredible. There's 4,500 species of crabs. All right, so I got my paintbrush all right up here. Now I'm gonna grab the red. I'm gonna do a red crab. You can do any color crab that you'd like. It's totally up to you. So we're gonna make our crab look like tacos, and you'll see in a minute what I mean by that. So we're gonna take our red and I'm gonna draw a line like so, just like that. So draw a line with your red paint, and then I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna arch it over, and look, it looks like a taco, doesn't it? Just like that. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna fill that in with red, our little taco crab. Did you guys know that the world's largest crab is called a Japanese spider crab? It's huge. Let me show you a picture of it. It's a ginormous crab. Just to kind of show you for reference, that's a human being holding that giant crab. And then the smallest crab is called a pea crab. And as you can see, it's tinier than a dime. Isn't that pretty incredible? So there's so many different species of crabs out there. And the largest is the Japanese spider crab. And the smallest is the pea crab. Okay, so I have my taco there. I'm gonna do another crab over here. So we're gonna do the same thing on the side, but this time we're gonna take it and we're going to do a line this way. We're gonna have him in the sand a little bit more. And if it's not straight, don't worry. Then we're gonna go up and down just like that, because we're gonna have our little crab friends with us today. Go ahead and paint that in. Okay, now we're gonna draw our crab legs. So I'm actually gonna use a smaller paintbrush for this. If you don't have a smaller one, that's totally fine. You can still use the bigger brush, but I'm gonna use a smaller paintbrush, and I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna draw a line like that. We're gonna do 3 legs on our crab, just like so. Let's do it on the other side here. Just like so. And let's do 3 on this guy. And it's okay, we're gonna go over our seaweed a little bit, and that is okay, friends. All right, are we starting to see a little bit of crab-like look to it? All right, and then now we're gonna draw the arms with the claws, the crab's claws. I'm gonna use my smaller paintbrush again to do the details of this. So right off of your legs right here, we're gonna draw a line that goes up like this. And then let's do it on the other side. Kind of looks like the crab has antennas right now, right? So let's do it on the other one here. And then on this side, it's just above the legs. Now we're gonna draw a U shape like this. Draw a big U shape. And then I'm actually gonna go in and we're gonna kind of make it look like petals or leaves. We're gonna connect it and do a little swoop down like that for our crab. Again, we're gonna go in with a U shape for the claws, for the pinchers. Like that. And let's do this on our other friend here. And we have a secret code word that we give out during our Take and Make videos that if you participated and watched this video and did the craft along with us, you can get 100 points towards a reading, summer reading program prize. So I'm gonna let you in on the little secret of what our secret code word is for today. Our secret code word for today is sail. Sail, like we're sailing the ocean. It's S-A-I-L, sail. So make sure you put that into your Read Squared app and then you will automatically get 100 points. Now, there's an extra step that I want you guys to take because you'll get an extra 100 points, which is so awesome for our summer reading program. So you can actually, if you complete your painting kit and you send us a picture, have mom or dad or a grown-up at home send in the picture of your painting, we will automatically give you another 100 points. So be sure to do that. It's 100 free points, friends. All right. Okay, so we have our crabs, but what's missing? Right? The eyeballs. Actually, before we get to the eyeballs, I'm going to add a little bit of shadowing to our crabs. And to do that, I want to make it a little bit darker. So I'm going to add just a little bit of black to my red here to make it a little bit darker red, like a burgundy red. We're going to add some shadowing. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to do a little bit of shadowing on the claws here. Kind of make them a little bit darker with the arms and the legs. Kind of blending that in. And then on the top here, I'm going to add a little shadowing to the side of this crab. And then at the bottom too. Just to make it look like he's a little bit more 3D. And then on this side of the crab, I'm also going to add some shadowing too with the burgundy color. Darken up his legs a little bit more. Darkening up his claw on this side. Oh, they're looking so fun. Add a little bit down here at the bottom. And on the other side of the leg here. You do not have to do this. If you just liked the way your crabs looked red, you can totally leave them that way too. Now I'm gonna then take white because we darkened certain areas. We're gonna try to lighten it up. So I am going to make sure I get my brush clean here before I get the white involved. I'm gonna take a little bit of my white. I'm gonna add a couple highlights. So I'm gonna add a highlight right here. Highlight right here. And then I'm gonna do a highlight on the crabs. Just ever so small, right there on the side. Right there. And I'm gonna blend it in with the red a little bit. Just like that. Blending all my edges. Okay. Now we're gonna draw our eyeballs. See how that added some dimension to our crab, make it look like it was popping off of our painting a little bit. Kind of blend a little bit more on the side. A little bit more white on this side here. There we go. Okay, now we're going to draw our eyeballs, make our crabs come alive here. So let's use our smaller paintbrush. Make sure mine's extra dry because we're using white, so we don't want it to bleed with any other color. All right, so we're gonna take a white, big glob of that here. And I'm gonna have my eyeballs be kind of funny. I'm gonna have them be a little crooked and off in different sizes to kind of make it more like a character-like look. You can make yours more realistic if you'd like. So I'm gonna draw an eyeball right there. Make it a little bit bigger. And then a smaller one. And if you have time to let it dry, I would do that. Because I'm getting a little bit of red in there and it's starting to look like he has pink eyes, but that's totally fine. And then I'm gonna draw a bigger eyeball on this side. And then a smaller one right here. Just like that. I'm gonna make it look kind of a character, cartoony look to my crabs. All right, and then now we're gonna need our black part of our eyes, our pupil of our eyes here. So let's get some black paint. And then I'm gonna draw a dot right here. Dab that on. And then right here, dab that on. It's really coming to life, friends. I love it. Look at our cute little crabs. I love it. All right, last but not least, let's paint some bubbles coming up from our crabs here. So again, we'll need to use the white. Use a smaller paintbrush here, and then I'm gonna kind of go like this. I'm going to draw them a little bit smaller as they're going up. Oh, how fun is this? Bubble, bubble, bubble. Add a little bit of blue to that too. So they're not so stark white. All right, and then I'm gonna add my bubbles to the other side. I'm gonna do them in white first, and then I'll gradually add some blue. Up to the top of the ocean there. Let's add a little bit of blue. If you wanted to do purple bubbles, you could do purple bubbles or yellow, whatever color you wanted. You can make it as fun as you'd like. Okay. I think I'm almost done with my painting here, friends. I hope that you guys had a great time following along on our crab painting here. And if you send in a picture of your painting to us, we will upload it to our Facebook page, and we will give you guys 100 points, reading points, towards some awesome prizes. So be sure to do that, friends. I hope you have a great rest of your day and enjoy your summer. Thank you.